All right, so today we are diving headfirst into the Bhishma Parva, the sixth book of the Mahabharata. Now, this isn't just about a battle kicking off. No, this is the story of the entire world basically holding its breath on the eve of a cataclysmic war, a conflict so huge it's going to redefine an entire age. So get this, before anyone even draws a bow, the universe itself starts to freak out. The text describes a world that's literally groaning under the weight of what's about to happen, sending out these absolutely terrifying warnings that a great slaughter is coming. And the omens they describe, wow, they are visually horrifying. It starts up in the sky. I mean, can you imagine looking up and seeing not rain, but showers of blood falling from the clouds? This is way beyond just bad weather. It's a sign that the very fabric of nature is tearing apart.
And it's not like this was just happening in one place. No, the epic describes a total, complete breakdown of the natural order. We're talking seasons getting all mixed up, crops growing when they shouldn't be. The fundamental rules of reality are just breaking.
Okay, and then it gets way more specific and super unsettling. The text tells us about all these unnatural births happening everywhere. We're talking donkeys being born from cows, women giving birth to, well, monsters. This isn't just a sign of doom. It's a perversion of life itself, like a biological scream that something is deeply, deeply wrong.
And this chaos, it's not just on Earth. It goes all the way up into the heavens. The sun is being covered by these horrifying, headless shapes. Planets, which, people saw as deciding fate, they're all moving into these really menacing positions. And even the statues of the gods, the stone statues, are seen laughing, shaking, and even vomiting blood. It's like divinity itself is horrified by what's coming.
So, okay, this has to make you wonder, right? Why all this cosmic drama? Why is the universe itself literally screaming a warning? Well, the answer isn't up in the stars. It's down on one single plane on Earth, where two massive armies have gathered.
Yeah, all of that turmoil, the entire universe in an uproar. It's because of us. It's because of a human conflict. So let's zoom in and see how this incredible confrontation actually came to be.
Right here it is, the epicenter of it all, the sacred field of Kurukshetra. This is where the two sides, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, who are two branches of the same family, by the way, have gathered. They're cousins, and they're about to go to war for a kingdom.
And the sheer scale of this family feud, it's just mind-boggling. They've called in so many warriors from all over the known world that the epic literally says the earth was emptied of its men. Just try to picture that for a second. A world with only kids and old people left at home. That's how massive these armies are.
You can just feel the tension on that battlefield. The text uses this incredible image. It describes the two armies not as just lines of soldiers, but as two agitated oceans about to crash into each other. You can almost feel that energy, right? The massive, destructive power just waiting to be let loose. But here's where things get really, really interesting. Before this war of total annihilation kicks off, both sides actually get together to draw up a list of rules for honorable combat.
I mean, they agree to fight fair. A guy in a chariot has to fight another guy in a chariot. A foot soldier versus a foot soldier. You have to shout a warning before you strike. And you're not allowed to attack someone who's running away, or someone who's unarmed, or even a non-combatant, like a musician. It's this whole code of conduct for a slaughter, like a gentleman's agreement for mass destruction.
But the text just immediately shatters that whole illusion of honor. The second the great war horns, the conches, are blown, the reality of war just hits everyone like a ton of bricks. The sound is so terrifying that soldiers on both sides literally lose control of their bodies. So for all the noble rules, the raw human terror of that moment is what's real.
And that brings us to something else that's really unique about this story, the way it's actually told to us. Think about it. If pretty much every able-bodied man is on the battlefield, who's left to tell the story? Who's our narrator? The answer sets up one of the most brilliant storytelling devices in all of literature.
So the whole story is being narrated to the blind king, Dhritarashtra, who's the father of the Kauravas. The great sage Vyasa offers him a gift, divine sight, so he can watch the battle himself. But the king says no. He says he can't bear to see the slaughter of his own family. And instead, in this really tragic moment, he asks to hear about it, every single last detail.
And so that gift, that boon, is given to Sanjaya, the king's minister. He gets the celestial vision. And this isn't just like a good seat. He can see everything, everywhere, all at once. He sees what happens in public, what happens in private. You can even hear the thoughts inside the warriors' heads. He basically becomes this living, all-seeing camera, narrating the entire war in real time to his blind king. So Sanjaya's got this immense task. How does he even begin? Where do you start? Well, he doesn't start with the armies. No, he starts with a description of the entire world, setting the stage for what is truly a cosmic event.
Sanjaya describes the world as they knew it, this island called Sudarsana, and he gives this beautiful analogy. He says you can see its shape in the disk of the moon, just like you can see your own face in a mirror. He says part of it looks like a peepal tree, and another part looks like a great hare. He's painting a picture of the whole stage where this tragedy is about to play out.
And then he maps out this world for the king. He describes these 6 massive mountain ranges that stretch from the Eastern Ocean all the way to the Western Ocean. This isn't just a geography lesson, right? This is myth-making. It's establishing the grand epic scale of the whole thing.
And at the dead center of this world, that's where you find the golden Mount Meru, the axis of the entire cosmos. It's supposed to be 84,000 yojanas high, and it's the home of the gods. By starting his story here, Sanjaya makes one thing crystal clear. This war at Kurukshetra, it's not just a human squabble. It's happening at the center of the universe, and all of creation, gods and mortals, is watching.
But before Sanjaya really gets going, the sage Vyasa makes one last desperate appeal to the king. He reminds him, look, it's time, it's destiny that ultimately destroys everything. But this slaughter, this is a choice. And it's an act that is never, ever praised in the holy texts. It's this final plea for peace, pushing back against what feels like an unstoppable fate.
And that just leaves us hanging with the central question of the entire Mahabharata, a question that's set up right here before the first drop of blood is even spilled. When it feels like destiny, like the cosmos itself, is demanding destruction, what's the point of righteousness? What is the role of doing the right thing when you're facing total annihilation?